Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including more delays, Tesla's weird supercharging situation for salvaged cars, new Plaid details, Cybertruck patents, Tesla's fake Model Y, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, the biggest story about Tesla that you've probably seen all over the place by now is that the United States is formally investigating Tesla's Autopilot system. One noteworthy headline came from CNN with, "Tesla is under investigation because its cars keep hitting emergency vehicles." So let's see if it's really that serious, as Tesla's stock seems to have been dropping as a result. This Tesla investigation includes every car Tesla has sold in the US since the start of the 2014 model year. It includes every model because they are investigating the software elements of Autopilot on 765,000 vehicles. Autopilot is now standard on every car that Tesla sells. This is specifically looking into a series of collisions with parked emergency vehicles where 17 people were injured and 1 was killed. NHTSA says that they have identified 11 crashes since 2018 in which Autopilot or cruise control hit vehicles at scenes where first responders were using flashing lights, flares, an illuminated arrow board, or cones as warnings. So while this investigation is all over the news and seems like a big deal, it is only involving 11 accidents in the last 3 years. We don't get data as to how many accidents Autopilot prevented. These all do share a similar pattern reportedly, which is odd and shows how Autopilot may not fully understand these unknown circumstances. The real question is, will something different happen this time, or will this investigation be another one that shows that there is no issue and Tesla still suffers from the same negative press? The real issue may be that drivers need to pay better attention to take over, or Tesla needs to require more attentiveness through something like a driver monitoring system. While it's never a good look just to look for another place to throw blame, it does seem that many of these accidents have a root cause of the driver not being attentive. According to Teslarati, 2 of these incidents were a DUI, 4 were cases of driver inattention, and 4 had unknown circumstances. In one particular driver inattention case, the system didn't detect hands on the wheel for a full 3 minutes and 41 seconds. This means that Autopilot was operating on its own without a driver paying attention and failed, resulting in the crash. This is not how the system is designed whatsoever, and Tesla is clear that you need to pay attention when using its auto steer features. I'm actually surprised the vehicle didn't slow down and stop as they do now with driver inattention, but we'd have to find out more details of that specific case to know what happened. The end result of this case may come out with some tweaks Tesla needs to make to their Autopilot system so that it recognizes those parked emergency vehicles. However, the overarching issue at hand is drivers not paying attention and the car continuing to drive, which many take issue with Tesla for. You can trick the Autopilot system by putting a weight on the wheel, and many blame Tesla for this, even though this is clearly a user choosing to override the system as designed and put themselves at risk. This is not how any cruise control system is designed either. As Car and Driver found in their recent testing, quote, "It's not just Tesla. All other driver assist systems work without drivers too." They found that regardless of the driver monitoring system included in any vehicle that offers driver assistance, all of them can be fooled fairly easily. Many see driver monitoring with eye tracking as the solution, but even this was easily fooled with a classic pair of eyeball glasses. Ultimately, I think that this investigation may result in NHTSA asking for a stricter driver monitoring system from Tesla, but will also likely end up with no real finding. Teslas get in less accidents than other vehicles thanks to these systems, and they are the safest vehicles ever tested. But right now, most are focused on this investigation. It points to Tesla's need for a PR department, and we'll see if that ever returns, because Elon Musk does not want one. Next up today, Teslas continue to sell out, and there's no reason to think it will let up anytime soon. Across the entire vehicle industry, cars are tough to get. New cars are hard to find, and used cars are selling for higher prices since they are actually available right now. It all boils down to the chip shortage and other supply shortages that are affecting every single automaker. Until now, we hadn't seen much of an impact on Tesla's vehicles, but we are really starting to see the effects on the latest Model S and X. The brand new Model S long range won't be delivered until March or April of 2022 if you order now, and the Plaid won't come until January or February, according to Tesla's current website. All Model X configurations are also delayed until March or April for new orders, and that isn't just related to demand. The new Model X has not shipped yet at all, so there is more going on there than demand. Still, demand is a factor here as more and more people are watching gas prices rise and preferring the idea of going all electric. The Model 3 and Y have been fairly available this year, but now they are delayed up to as much as 6 months from your order date. If you want the cheapest Standard Range Plus Model 3, Tesla estimates a delivery date of January of 2022. Long range is November, and performance is the shortest, coming in at 5 to 6 weeks. Performance is always the shortest delivery time because it's less popular and makes Tesla more money, so they want them to sell. Lastly, the Model Y long range shows a delivery date of January with performance coming in 5 to 6 weeks. As we can see, these delivery estimates just keep getting pushed back. Even for people who have had orders for a while now, they've seen delivery dates slip as Tesla isn't able to get as many cars out as they want. The Model S is the biggest example of this, with delivery estimates changing all over the place for people as Tesla figures out demand and supply issues. At the same time that Teslas are getting more popular with individuals, they are selling incredibly well used, but soon we may see even more supply getting wiped out from fleets. Revel is an all-Model Y taxi fleet operating in New York that just recently got full approval. If all goes well there, they will surely be purchasing more Model Ys, especially since this vehicle has changed a bit inside since they purchased theirs. Additionally, over in Boulder, Colorado, the Sheriff's Department announced that they had purchased a Model Y to test as a police patrol vehicle. According to their numbers, it has already justified its higher sticker price with gas savings. Savings from charging instead of filling up with gas have resulted in a cheaper total cost of ownership in just 6 to 18 months. Quote, law enforcement vehicles spend a great deal of time idling and engaging in sudden start/stop driving, which for ICE vehicles consumes significant amounts of fossil fuels and produces a lot of wear and tear on the engine components. Our data shows that over the average life of a patrol vehicle, 5 years, 105,000 miles, the Ford Police Interceptor's fuel and maintenance costs equate to roughly $0.187 per mile driven, while the Tesla Model Y's operating and maintenance costs equate to roughly $0.029 per mile driven. That equates to roughly $19,635 in fuel and maintenance costs for the Ford Police Interceptor SUV, compared to only $3,045 for the Tesla Model Y. Now that they are seeing these huge savings, they are looking to electrify their whole fleet, and right now, electric options from Tesla tend to make the most sense thanks to their performance and reliability. As stated in this article, quote, Tesla vehicles have become the go-to EV for police departments around the world. Recently, the NYPD added a Model 3 to their patrol, and a number of others from Indiana, Fremont, Connecticut, and more have put Teslas in their fleets. So while Tesla is facing supply issues and the most popular variant of each of their vehicles being sold out until 2022, there is a lot more demand coming their way. For fleets, Teslas make a ton of sense. Gas and maintenance savings are huge, as well as the general savings that come with efficiency. That sheriff's office in Colorado is already saving big with one Model Y, so they will likely be buying more soon and paving the way for other departments to do the same. While police departments buy Teslas, taxi fleets like Revel will do the same as well, at the same time that more and more customers make the switch. All of this demand coming at the same time that Tesla is having to navigate supply chain issues, chip shortages, and more. If you're looking to buy a Tesla but worried about these things, I would say to just put in your order. One thing that I feel people don't realize is that you aren't locked into anything when you make that order aside from the $100 order fee. You can keep that order and delay delivery until whenever you need. So if you're trying to get a Tesla anytime soon, I would just put in that order for what you think you will want. If you're hoping to wait for 4680 battery cells or hoping to wait for Giga Texas or something, you'll have your order in and ready to go whenever you want to pull the trigger. It seems that every week these delivery estimates get pushed further and further out, making it so you won't get your car for 5 to 6 months. I'm not just trying to sell a bunch of Teslas here. I'm just saying if you're already wanting to get one, but the time isn't right, putting in that order might be a smart option before things get pushed even further out. Next up, speaking of Tesla's demand, we have some updates about Tesla's new factories in Berlin and Texas, as well as Model Ys being sold in Europe. Since the launch of the Model Y, Tesla has not sold them in Europe and was waiting for Giga Berlin to be operational. The latest on that comes with Elon Musk speaking with a German candidate for chancellor. He said, quote, "We're looking forward to hopefully getting the approval to make the first cars maybe in October if we are fortunate." So while Tesla is going to make their first Model Ys at that factory, they have also begun exporting Model Ys from Giga Shanghai to Europe for customer deliveries. They are now supposed to deliver to customers starting in September, and quite a few have been spotted on transport trucks in the Netherlands. Funny enough, these all have decals on the side that say not Model Y. Typically, automakers would put camouflage on their vehicles to try to hide what it is, and it seems that Tesla is making a joke out of these first Model Y deliveries in Europe by actually calling more attention to them. It's unclear if these are to be delivered to customers or stores, but either way, it's funny to see that someone spent time on this not Model Y decal that has been printed on multiple Teslas now and put on vehicles in Europe. Next up, some news about the Plaid Model S. This car has been out for a couple months now, and it's an absolute blast. You can see my full review of that car after renting it for 2 days by clicking clicking the link up here or in the description below, but I am definitely not the only one who is impressed by it. First, Doug Demuro posted his Plaid Model S review and was absolutely blown away by the car. If you don't know Doug, he is one of the most well-known car reviewers out there and has driven and reviewed pretty much every exotic car you can think of. If he is impressed with a car, it's high praise, and he couldn't speak for around 20 seconds or so after launching in the new Plaid Model S. First, he said that, quote, new worlds have opened up, after punching it in the car, and went on to say, quote, it's like nothing I've ever driven, ever, followed by, it requires you to completely rethink everything you've ever thought about automotive speed. It's the craziest roller coaster you've ever been on in your entire life. That's incredibly high praise, and it is 100% genuine coming from Doug, who really knows his stuff with every vehicle. At the same time that went up, Rich from Rich Rebuilds got a Plaid Model S to take apart. He said, quote, everyone loves to race the Tesla Plaid, but how come nobody takes one apart to see what's inside? Okay, I'll bite. After doing some work, he came back to say, quote, I can honestly say it's light years ahead of any Tesla right now. I'm cheap, but I can see why it's $120K plus. I get it now. Again, this is another person who really knows what they are talking about, and it's a great source to hear from. He has had his run-ins with Tesla in the past and criticizes them when necessary, like for supercharging issues, which we'll get to in a second, but clearly sees the advancements that the Plaid has underneath where everyone is looking. That's great news for the new Model S because not only is it ridiculously fast and impressive to a car reviewer, but impressive to an engineer. I'll have a lot more coming out about the Plaid Model S soon, including a giveaway and possibly getting my own, so make sure you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on those videos. It's the quickest production car ever, but soon will be getting dethroned by the Rimac Nevera. Drag Times did testing in California with the Rimac Nevera and achieved a 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, a 0 to 100 miles per hour in 3.61 seconds, and a new quarter-mile record of 8.582 seconds at 167.51 miles per hour. This beats Tesla on their Plaid Model S, and it's incredibly awesome to see it coming from another electric vehicle. They'll be launching a side-by-side with the Plaid soon, but it's pretty clear who will be the winner at this point, even though both cars are incredible. While this technically dethrones Tesla here, it's a $2.4 million vehicle beating a $130,000 vehicle, so either way, both cars are incredibly impressive. I just wonder if Tesla will keep going with their line of quickest production car ever, since the Rimac is hard to get and super expensive, or if they'll find another wording as to not ignore the Nevera. Next up, a few updates about the Cybertruck have come to the surface thanks to a recent patent. The patent is titled Automotive Glass Structure Having Feature Lines and Related Method of Manufacture, and it describes a way to form durable glass structures with aggressive curves and folds. This allows Tesla to create components like the windshield on the Cybertruck, which wouldn't be possible with conventional glass forming techniques. This same technique is mentioned in the patent application for the dash of the Cybertruck. At its announcement, the Cybertruck dashboard was made of recycled paper composite, but now according to this patent, it could be made of glass instead. Quote, a film layer used with the folded glass would provide the dashboard with additional durability, ensuring that the component does not shatter during impacts. This doesn't sound too appealing, but would definitely be something we have to see in final implementation to understand why a glass dashboard would make sense. In any case, we know that the Cybertruck design is finalized on Tesla's side, so whether or not these new patent updates made their way into the final design remains to be seen. Next up, a weird situation has been going on with Supercharging and Tesla's salvaged cars. When vehicles are totaled, they are sold as salvaged, and many like to take salvaged Teslas, fix them up, and get them back on the road. Ultimately, this helps more electric vehicles get back on the road, but back in 2020, Tesla disabled access to their supercharger network or any fast charging in these vehicles. This was a big topic of discussion with Rich Rebuilds, who I talked about earlier with the Plaid teardown. He rebuilds Teslas, and then Tesla dropped fast charging abilities in these cars via software. According to Tesla at the time, quote, Tesla reserves the right to deactivate supercharging capability on any vehicle we believe would be unsafe. If a vehicle is found to have been modified to enable supercharging and or fast charging through third parties, Tesla may take legal action and seek compensation. At its core, this makes sense for safety, but it just doesn't have the right feel to it and feels like they are removing a big feature of these cars after the fact so that you buy a new one. Well, last week, Tesla began restoring this ability in salvaged vehicles. @GreenTheOnly found that Tesla had suddenly re-enabled supercharging on salvaged Model 3s. Someone responded and confirmed that it was working for them on their salvaged Model 3, so this was great news. However, it was temporary great news because Tesla reversed the ban shortly after. Owners reaching out to Electrek noted that within a couple of days of being able to supercharge, they were banned again. Tesla has not commented on this situation at all, but it really seems like it was just a bug that they fixed shortly after owners were charging again. The excuse of safety makes sense, but when people restore these cars correctly, disabling fast charging just doesn't seem to go with their mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. We'll see what happens from here on out, but for now, again, salvaged Teslas cannot supercharge. Last up today, some updates about Tesla's self-driving from Elon Musk. Tesla has now begun pushing out releases of the beta to beta testers much more frequently. The latest was beta 9.2 and just got released. This time, Elon Musk put up a whole list of technical notes that they are changing in this release, and it's clear that these are insider notes. Most of this does not make sense to the average person, and it mentions very specific things like, quote, new VRU velocity model with 12% improvement to velocity and better VRU clear-to-go performance. This is the first model trained with quantization-aware training, an improved technique to mitigate INT8 quantization. It's cool to see this list because it shows a lot of what is going on behind the scenes and how complex it is, when us on the outside just see phantom braking is better. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my full Plaid review after driving it for 2 full days, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.